The United States is reportedly poised to send Ukraine sophisticated surface-to-air weapons to help it shoot down incoming Russian missiles.
Millions of people in Ukraine remain without electricity, gas, heating or running water as Russian attacks continue.
The United States is reportedly poised to send Ukraine Patriot missile batteries as it tries to answer Kyiv's calls for more advanced weapons from its allies. The move could help Ukraine repel Russian aerial attacks on its critical infrastructure.
Just a few things, and then I'll go ahead and... We will look at a full spectrum of security assistance and defensive capabilities that are available within our common inventories when we consider Ukraine's needs.
Ukraine still needs more weapons and ammunition, because the best way to protect our civilians from Russian terror is to defeat Russia. We need more air and missile defense systems and ammunition, armored vehicles, primarily tracked ones.
In Kyiv, residents take shelter inside the city's metro station, an image that has become a regular sight since the start of the war 9 months ago. All across Ukraine, air raid sirens could be heard as Russia continued its bombings.
Just outside Kiev in Borodyanka, some residents are facing the freezing Ukrainian winter without heating and having to find alternatives to stay warm. Electricity and gas grids have been badly damaged by Russian missiles over the last few months.
I switch on the electric heater and small fan, but it's not enough. This one is partly broken and hardly gives off heat. We cover ourselves with few blankets. That's how we sleep.
The fiercest battles are now taking place in Bakhmut, in eastern Ukraine. Moscow has been trying to encircle the city that has been bombing for months. Since the fighting began, most of Bakhmut's pre-war 70,000 population has fled.
I was promised a new combustion furnace for heating, but I never got it. How do we survive when the house is freezing cold?
President Zelensky explained the currently critical situation to a conference in Paris. Right now, about 12 million people in almost all regions and the capital are disconnected from the supply. Unfortunately, this is a typical situation for us, and we expect new Russian strikes every day, which can dramatically increase the number of shutdowns. Dozens of countries and international organizations pledged €1 billion in aid to keep Ukrainians powered, fed, warmed and moving as winter approaches.
Snow blankets parts of Europe just in time for Christmas, but with it comes traffic chaos. Cities like Lyon in France were brought to a standstill on Tuesday morning. Meteorologists say the extreme conditions have set in for the rest of the week, with freezing fog in the northeast, rain in the southwest, and snow and slippery conditions in the southeast. It's a similar outlook for the rest of Europe too, with temperatures set to reach as low as minus 23 degrees Celsius in Scandinavia. In London, harsh weather fell on the same day as the national rail strike, already expected to bring the country to a grinding halt. Only 20% of Britain's railway services have been in operation. But it's Northern Europe that is suffering the full brunt of the snowstorms. Air and rail traffic has been severely disrupted in Finland. Power companies have not ruled out outages due to the extent of the snowfall.
After 10 hours of negotiations, the European Union has failed to agree on a natural gas price cap, a move that could have made utility bills cheaper if it was approved. Some of the EU's energy ministers disagreed with the cap because they feared it would lead to suppliers bypassing the bloc for other buyers. Last month, Brussels proposed a safety price ceiling to be applied if the cost of natural gas exceeded a certain amount, in this case €275 for every megawatt hour for 2 weeks, or if its cost was significantly higher than on the world market.
Bosnia and Herzegovina is a major step closer to joining the European Union after the bloc's European Affairs ministers agreed to recommend the country be granted candidate member status. The decision taken at a Brussels meeting on Tuesday is expected to be endorsed by the leaders of member states at a summit on Thursday. It's already been welcomed by the Union's Enlargement Commissioner, Olivier Vahi. In a tweet, he declared the EU path is open. Bosnia joins Serbia, Albania, North Macedonia and Montenegro among Balkan nations to have one official candidacy. Kosovo is working towards the same goal. But it can take many years for full membership to be granted. With its complex internal structures and multi-ethnic composition, Bosnia and Herzegovina has a lot of work to do to achieve the reforms required by Brussels to become a member of the club.
Nearly 13,000 Albanians have arrived in the UK so far this year. While most of the images show people boarding buses, a third of all of those who make it to Britain come in small boats, making the dangerous, often lethal journey across the English Channel. Many say they're fleeing corruption, low quality of life, and even modern slavery. But now the British Prime Minister is vowing to clear what he calls a backlog of asylum seekers, adding the vast majority of Albanian nationals arriving without visas will be removed immediately.
So today I can announce a new agreement with Albania and a new approach. First, we will embed Border Force officers in Tirana Airport for the first time ever, helping to disrupt organised crime and stop people coming here illegally.
Many of the Albanian asylum seekers are single adult men. The numbers represent around 1% of the country's working age, according to figures from Eurostat. In recent months, rallies have exploded onto the streets of Albania's capital Tirana and other cities, protesting against the rising cost of living. But British ministers say Albania is a safe country and Albanians are less likely to be granted asylum than other nationalities.
Best Director, Martin McDonagh, The Banshees of Inisherin.
Martin McDonagh's tale of feuding friends has received the highest number of Golden Globe nominations in almost 2 decades. Set on a tiny Irish island in the 1920s, the black comedy The Banshees of Inisherin has got 8 nods, including one for leading actor Colin Farrell.
Tell me what I've done to you. When you didn't do anything to me. I just don't like you no more. You didn't like me yesterday.
Another European film in the running is All Quiet on the Western Front, based on the novel by Eric Maria Remarque, which has been nominated for Best Motion Picture Non-English Language. The co-production, directed by Edward Berger, follows the story of a German soldier's physical and mental trauma during World War I. The original book sold 2.5 million copies in 22 languages in its first 18 months of print, and was banned by Nazi Germany.
Für uns alle.
The film is available to stream on Netflix.
Led by football superstars such as Kylian Mbappe, France will be looking to end Morocco's fairy tale run when both sides meet in the FIFA World Cup semi-final clash on Wednesday. Despite being favourites, the reigning champions know they'll have to dig deep against a resilient Moroccan side who have defied the odds this tournament. For more on this game, let's go to our Euronews correspondent Sam Ashu in Doha.
Final preparations underway for France as they ready themselves for yet another World Cup semi-final. The manager Didier Deschamps admitted they decided we're a little bit lucky against England, but he also said that they knew how to do things right, and that's exactly what this French squad seemed to be able to do. Kylian Mbappe will be hoping to rediscover the sort of form that has seen him score 5 goals in this competition so far. He was a little bit quiet against England, but fellow forwards Antoine Griezmann and Olivier Giroud were excellent and could play a huge part against Morocco. As for the aforementioned Morocco, what a tournament it has been for them so far. The first Arab side to reach the semi-finals of the competition, the first African side to reach the semi-finals of the World Cup as well. One player that definitely won't be featuring, though, is Walid Shadira. 2 yellow cards he picked up against Portugal. It means he's suspended for this one. In terms of the overall fitness of the squad, they have put in such a shift throughout this tournament. You do have to wonder just how fit some of those players will be in this upcoming game against France. But win or lose, they have been one of the talking points of this 2022 FIFA World Cup. They have done themselves and their continent absolutely proud here. As for France, the team currently training right behind me, they're hoping to be the first side since 1962 to retain the FIFA World Cup. Samashu for Euronews in Doha.